San Francisco 49ers Deebo Samuel debuted his brand new podcast on Bleacher Report with guest Brandon Ayuk. And in this opening kind of kickoff to the podcast, Deebo was asked about the mentality that the San Francisco 49ers have heading into this season. And we continue to hear a pretty similar type of thought process, almost as if this is kind of a finality to this core group, at least in some sense, and how they've already accomplished a lot of things, but there's more things to accomplish. And it really is coming down to this season because, as we know, there might be some changes at the end of the year. So we have to kind of see what ultimately happens this year. But take a listen to Deebo Samuels. He kind of contextualizes what the 49ers are looking at this season as right here.
Is the mentality coming off of last year into this season? Was there any type of change from last year to this year? I mean, I would assume you obviously get hungrier for it every year. The end all be all, the Super Bowl. But what would you guys say your mentality was coming into?
I mean, if I'm looking at it like you just said, for as hungry, I'm full at this point. Like, I'm full at this point. Like, I mean, it's time to really clean the plate. Like, it's either now or never. Like,
Right.
That's how I kind of look at it. Like, with the guys that we have, like I've been a part of, the best team in the NFL for the past going on 6 years.
Yeah.
And so, like, we always there. Like, we got to get it done.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like what he had to say when asked, "Are you still hungry?" He's like, "I'm full. Like we've eaten. We have, gotten all the things that we need: the accolades, the all pros, the contracts, the big seasons, the big years, the brand deals, the podcast. Like they've accomplished everything that you could ever want to accomplish as a player entering the league. Like really, you think about it, you think of what this team has been able to do, the success that they've had year in and year out. The only thing that's eluding them is a Super Bowl win. That's the only thing that is stopping this team from being crowned with the greatness tag. Even Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel on this podcast said, I think we've been the best team, and so much pushback by fans saying, well, you're not the best team. You've never won a Super Bowl. And I get it. I understand the high level perspective that fans have that you can't be crowned the best if you haven't, won a Super Bowl. But just because you haven't won a Super Bowl doesn't mean there isn't some validity to that. The San Francisco 49ers have absolutely been one of the best teams, if not the best team. But unfortunately, they have fallen short in the games that matter most, and that is the two Super Bowls against the Kansas City Chiefs. So obviously, the Chiefs are the ones who are standing in the way, and they probably carry the tag of, at least from a general broad perspective of fans, as the best team in the NFL because they have the hardware to back it up. They've got the quarterback and, all the other things that come along with it. So when Debo's talking about the Super Bowl and like, man, I'm full. I'm trying to clean. I'm trying to wipe off this plate. I'm trying to take that last bite, trying to get to the dessert almost, right? Like he's trying to get they've been able to accomplish so many things except that one thing that is eluding them, and it's that Super Bowl win, man. It really, really is. And I think that obviously this year shines a light because, especially on Debo, because I think it's been common thought process that, hey, Debo, this could be it for him. This could be his last year. There's no more guaranteed money on his contract beyond this season. Now, obviously, there was a restructuring, and he even talked about that in this episode of like, I don't think fans really understand what it means when we restructure and what that's trying to accomplish. So I don't know if there's really any impact for the future and what that whole situation was. But I think we've heard all the talking points, right? 49ers shop Debo during the draft. There was a potential for him to get traded. obviously the 49ers signing Brandon Ayuk to a big-time deal. Deebo Samuel probably looking to get a deal similar to BA after this season. Probably won't be coming from the San Francisco 49ers because they have to pay Brock, and they've got Charvarius Ward and Deommodore Lenoir and all these other players that they need to pay as well. So it might not. It could. Maybe there is a world that exists where Deebo Samuel is able to stick around. But the point being is, I think this core group of guys understands that there's going to be substantial changes. We've heard Deommodore Lenoir speak like this. We've heard many other guys speak to the fact that this is kind of the last ride with this group, because although there have been some changes, we've already seen Eric Armstead go and players like that, but there's going to be more. And after this season, it probably will be a bit of a retool where they are shifting some things around. They've got to get an injection of new talent, and they got to maybe stock up on draft picks and kind of reset the roster again, because obviously we know what's coming. So I do agree with Deebo. I agree that, I've been able to forecast this kind of situation occurring for a while now. We knew that the window, a couple years ago was only a couple years left, because we knew these players are going to get older and we knew contracts are coming up. So we're unfortunately there. We are in that place where these core guys might not all stick around. We have to see. Obviously, there's a lot of things that still need to occur before we can start projecting who's gonna, potentially not be on the squad. But nonetheless, the point still remains is that this is a huge year, because they understand that it's all riding on this season, and that's either a good thing or a dangerous thing, because you can also put unwanted pressure on yourself by understanding that this might be the last ride. And so it's a I would say it's going to be a kind of stressful season. I think we're already kind of seeing that with the week 2 loss against the Minnesota Vikings. I think the fans feel that. I think the players feel that. I think the organization feels that. They understand that there is a situation that's kind of developing where we got to go now. This is the last true shot that the 49ers have at winning it all with this group. So I'm curious to know what you guys thought about what Deebo had to say, because I do think it is something that we've heard multiple times now from multiple players. So curious to know what you guys think. Let me know if you agree kind of with the thought processes, and let me know in the comments below. I'm going to link the entire podcast. Bleacher Report posted it to YouTube, so I'll link that in the description if you want to watch the whole thing. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.